Hey, I'm Rob from JTRPodcast.com, and at Essen Spiel 2018 I got to play Monolith Arena. Now, Monolith Arena is a re-implementation of Neuroshima Hex, which I believe has 3 editions, and this time it's got a fantasy theme instead of a post-apocalyptic one. And each player has a team of people. You can choose from elves, dwarves, sort of undead demons, and humans, each with their own character traits and abilities and units. And everybody has a banner, and that is their sort of base, home base thing. And what you're trying to do is place these tiles in such a way that you're going to be able to deal damage to the banner, hopefully killing it before the end of the game. If not, whoever's banner has got the most health at the end of the game is going to be the winner. And I have to say, I very much enjoyed this game so much that I picked a copy up because I enjoyed it so much. So I'm just going to go through very briefly how to play. I'm not going to go into every little detail because obviously there is quite a bit, and all the different factions have got their own abilities and stuff. I'm not going to go into all of those, just going to go a brief overview, and let's go into the game. This is the board. It's very small, as you can see. And so basically I've got the example of 2 factions here. We've got the dwarf banner. This is the banner, and this is the elves banner, because this is the 2 factions I played with. I played the elves when I demoed it against one of the people at Portal Games, and they played the dwarves. And so basically you're going to choose a start player. The first player is going to put their banner anywhere on the board. It could be in the middle if you want, it could be on the edge, it doesn't matter. Then the second player is going to place their board. They can place it anywhere except next to your banner. I believe that is correct. And there we go. So let's just say they put theirs there. And each banner starts with a health of 20, so you're going to put a token each on there to show that particular thing. And everybody's going to have a big stack of tiles of their faction, and they're going to give those a shuffle. And they're going to put them in a stack to show that that's their deck, pretty much. And then the game begins with the start player drawing 1 tile and choosing whether to play it, discard it, or keep it for the next round. And the second player will draw 2 tiles, decide whether to keep them, play them, or discard them. And then you're going to go back and forth with each player taking 3 tiles, definitely discarding 1. You have to discard 1, and then choosing what to do with the other 2, either discarding them, keeping them, or playing them. So let's see what happens when you play them, because that's the more interesting decision. So let's just say we're on turn 3 and there's nothing on the board, because this is going to be how most of the round works. You play 3 and you put them face up, because there's no point putting them face down, because there's no hidden information really. So what you do is you choose one of those to get rid of, and there's different types of tiles. These are your champions. These are your units that you're going to use. They're called champions. These are runes, and these buff adjacent champions. And these are runes that are going to use different abilities that are one-shots. They don't go on the board. These all go on the board in certain ways, but these never go on the board. These are just used and discarded. So let's just say I've got these 3. Let's just say I discard this one because I don't want it. And it goes in your discard pile. And that leaves me with 2 left. So I can play 2, discard 2, keep 2. I'm obviously going to play them because we're demoing the game. It would be very boring if I just discarded them and moved on. Obviously, if you decide to keep them, you draw up to 3. So if you keep both of these, you're going to draw 1 in your next round, and then you're going to choose to discard 1 of those, and that's how the game works. So basically you put them anywhere. So let's just say I put this here, and I put this one, say, I don't know, there. Doesn't matter, it's just a demo. And then let's just say the opponent dwarf, let's say they do this. They put that one there, like that, for example, and then they put this one here. And that would be it. And you just go back and forth until somebody plays a battle tile, and then it all kicks off. So this is a battle tile. Every player's got one of these, or few of these in their deck. And when somebody decides to play one of these, they discard it, and a battle begins. And what the battle does is all of these units are going to attack each other simultaneously, depending on their initiative. And their initiative is this number on here. You can see these 2 units are a 2, and the banners are a 0, and these 2 are a 1. So how that works is you look for the highest number, so in this case we've got 2 2s, so these 2 are going to attack. So we can see this one here is attacking in 3 directions. It's attacking this way with 1 damage, this way with 1 damage, and this way with 2 damage. And because they're a sword, it's only going to deal damage to an adjacent tile. So if it was there, it's going to deal damage here. If this person was here, it would hit both of these at the same time. This one for 2 and this one for 1. That's how sort of battles work and how the game works. So these 2 are going to hit. This one's going to hit him for 2 damage. And this one's going to hit their banner for 2 damage. So this is going to kill that one, but this one's still going to do their 2 damage, which means that the opposing banner is going to lose 2, which is marked on this track, and they die. That's simple. Now these 2 get to attack. Now this is a ranged icon, so it's going to do 2 range damage. So basically it's going to shoot the first enemy unit it comes to in that order. So obviously nothing here, so it's going to hit my banner for 2, so I would lose 2 health. And this unit is a special unit because it hasn't got any directionals around it. And this unit is an assassin. It deals 1 damage to any unit. So I could kill this one, I could kill this one, or I could deal 1 damage to the banner. So let's just say that this unit is damaging my banner. So I'm going to deal this 1 damage, and that is not going to kill it because this one has a shield, which gives it an extra defense. So you have, for this purpose, you have bags of tokens to mark all this stuff on the board. Some of the tokens are specific to different factions for the different abilities. I'm not going to go into everything now, but just to say that wound tokens are used a lot. So there's a wound token there for him, so you know he's got 1 wound left. And then the banners would attack. All the banners are the same. They have they just attack in all directions for 1 damage. They also have different things on them. So this one's got a shield icon. This one's got a foot icon on there. And what the foot icon does it allows you to move a unit that's adjacent. So let's just say on my turn, this unit was there and I didn't want it there for whatever reason. Maybe this unit was there and is going to kill it, and I don't want this to die, so I don't want it to be in this position. So I can use this ability to move it out of the way, and that's what the movement icon does. There are also some runes that allow you to move. I'll just show you those now. I don't think the elves have one, but they do have these, which is an order tile. So you can play an order tile to move a unit around instead. So that's sort of movement. You can use it both offensively and defensively, which is cool. And then this one here gives any adjacent unit a shield. So this one's already got a shield. It's took 1 damage, so now it needs 3 damage to die. So that's sort of how these abilities work. All the banners have got a different ability for each faction. There are also the rune tiles, as I mentioned, that give adjacent or connected units abilities, much like on here, where it's going to allow people to move. These are going to have different abilities. So this one, for example, any of my units that are connected to this are going to get +1 initiative, and you would use the tokens to show this. So now this is 1 + 1, so it have an initiative of 2. So now it's going to attack at the same time as this unit here. So these will both attack at the same time. And let's just say that this was facing this way. Now this is going to kill this unit. So I don't want this one to die because I think I like the assassin. It gets to do a damage anyway. I don't want it to die. You could play these into play. This is a rune of regeneration. So when this deals this a damage, I can sacrifice this and prevent all damage. Even if it was facing this way, it was dealing 2 damage. It would still remove this and prevent all the damage to that token. Just so you know as well, because this is attacking this way for 1, all the runes have a hit HP total of 1, so it will remove that as well, so you can start removing people's abilities off the board as well. It's very, very good. And that's pretty much the game. You're going to be placing units on the board, you're going to be using order tiles to do things and start battles, killing your opponents, taking your opponents' banner health down, and it's a race to see who can get them to 0 first. Once the player's drawn all their tiles, you're not allowed to use the battle orders anymore. But what you'll do then is once players have played their final turns, you're going to do 1 final battle, which means every unit just attacks each other in exactly the same way in initiative order from highest to lowest, and then you see who's got the lowest level of health on their banner. And obviously whose banner's got the most health will be the winner, but that is not all this game has, because as I said, there are 4 factions. Elves are quick, they increase their initiative. Humans are manoeuvrable, dwarves are tough, and undead have different magical abilities like poison and netting people so they lose their abilities and all sorts of stuff. I can't wait to play with those. Don't worry, I don't want to play against them. I want to play with them first and then play against them afterwards because I think they're going to be quite fun. But there's also these. These are the titular monoliths. And these are a stack of 3 plastic things, and you get 4 sets of them in the box, so you can play, because you can play 4 players. There's the other colours there, sort of gold, silver and yellow. And you can play sort of 1 versus many, you can play 2 versus 2, you can play 1 versus 1 on 2 different boards, because there was a nice neoprene mat for sale at Essen, and I managed to pick that up so I could play 2 2-player games, because I think that'd be better than sort of the 4-player game. Possibly, we'll see. So what you do with these is you put your banner in one of them, and you can place any 2 units, or any 2 tiles in these 2 here. They don't both have to be champions, they can be runes as well. So let's just say I did that, for example. And then you stack them up. Now these 2 are going to be hidden from the other player. They won't know what's in here. You can pick any 2 tiles from your faction, and then you put this on the board as you would normally, and your opponent would do the same with their monolith. And then what you can do is you can unfold it. by doing this. And then that's going to secretly go, haha, I have a bunch of things now. And then when you have a battle, it folds back up, and it folds back up to where it was, etc. And obviously some of these are going to die that's inside, and you can, they're going to come out, and then you can replace them later on with another tile and stuff. But I haven't played with these yet, but it is quite interesting idea. It looks quite nice on the board as well, and I'd love to unfold one and go, yay, and then start a battle and then have it fold back up. It's just a shame. The one thing I don't like about these is your banner stays where it is, and it's the one on top, which means you can't do that. I thought that would be quite cool to be able to do that and then fold it back up like this, but what you have to do is you have to do sort of like that, because your banner has to stay in the space that it was, which is a bit awkward and a bit fiddly, but it's fine. I don't know, I haven't played with them yet, so we'll see what it's like when I actually get to play with them. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Monolith Arena. It seems like a really cool game. I mean, I've played Neuroshima Hex a little bit on the app, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I think having a fantasy theme for me is much better, much more preferable. I much prefer a fantasy theme over post-apocalyptic. And I think having these monoliths are interesting. It's something different. It's something I haven't seen before in a sort of a two-player game like this. Having the ability to play it with 4 players, and having the ability to very cheaply with the near-pre map that it only cost me €5, €10, I can't remember. It wasn't that much, but it means I could play two-player games at the same time. There's very few rules, really. There's not that many rules. Most of the rules are on the boards for the factions. They've all got their own faction board explaining all the tiles and all the actions you can take, and it does it very well. So if you explain the base game to all 3 other players that are playing, give them the faction board, say you've got any questions, let me know. I think you'll be fine. So yeah, very good game. Looking forward to playing it more. That is Monolith Arena. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTRPodcast, and find the blog and podcast at JTRPodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.